Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and today I just wanted to talk about a few things that I've learned from my past few years shooting film. And I wanted to preface everything by saying that I am by no means an expert. Again, like I've said, I've only been shooting for 3 years now, but I just kind of wanted to go over some few key lessons that I've learned. So let's start. Oh, and before we begin, my first film camera was actually a Mamiya RB67. Is a medium format camera, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, or at least have seen in a lot of different videos. And although that camera may have taken some of the best images that I've seen, at least in a film camera, it just wasn't ideal for me because of the weight and the size of it. It was just so big, and I wanted a camera to carry around. And before I got it, I didn't realize how heavy it was, and I thought I could manage it, and maybe if I had a studio setup, that would have been definitely way more ideal, because it was actually meant to be a studio camera and not really meant to be carried around. Although you can if you want, but it's just not practical, at least for me. So I did replace that camera with my favorite camera to this day, which is the Pentax 6.7, and it takes some of the best images that I've seen. And although it's still a heavier camera, I still can carry it around when I travel with a strap, and it is still a little bulky, but I've managed to work with it. And then I do have a Minolta XG1 as my 35mm film camera. That is my grandpa's old camera. So I think one of the biggest and the first thing that I've learned, especially when I started out, was that you have to embrace imperfections. Otherwise, I think you will get very frustrated and you would kind of want to quit right away, because let's be honest, film photography isn't cheap and it's not for everyone. So when you do shoot a lot of rolls and you get back these underexposed photos, you have a lot of grain in them, you get like light leaks. I don't know what other way to say it, but that's just kind of the process and kind of what you get with film photography. You're never gonna get, well, I'm not gonna say never. Of course you're gonna get perfect images, but I'm saying you're more than likely you're gonna get a lot of images that you don't really like, or you didn't think it would turn out like that, and basically imperfections. And I think in a weird way, those imperfections, a lot of the time, they can actually make the photo better, because, and these are just my opinions, but sometimes a little grain, sometimes a little light leak in the right spot, or a little underexposure, it kind of adds to the photo. And of course, every now and then you're going to get an extremely underexposed photo where you can't even bring it back in post. But again, that's just the learning process of using film. So another thing I learned when I was shooting film is you have to be intentional with your photos. And in that sense, it kind of slows you down. You know, obviously with digital cameras or like your iPhone, you can just shoot away. You don't have to be intentional at all. You can take 100 photos of the same thing with different angles and just go back and see which one you like best. And you probably have a really good photo out of all those shots. But with film, obviously, not only with the cost, but the limited exposures in all the rolls, you have to really think about, hey, should I shoot this shot? Or like, what's a better way to shoot it? What's a better angle to shoot it at? You know, can I move it anywhere to get better lighting? Can I do anything different to get a better shot? You know, you have to think about all these things because of how limited you are, and how it makes you be more focused on the small details that maybe you wouldn't be with a digital camera. think the thing I learned the most about shooting film is that, especially coming from digital photography, you don't really think about like how to read light as much, because you have your exposure, or you have a reading of what the picture will look like in most digital cameras. You can just look on the back screen, adjust it, okay, that one looks good, and take the shot. But when you're shooting with film, you kind of you have to learn how to read light. And even with a light meter, you don't want to have to use that every single time. Maybe there's a shot you need right now and you don't have time to read the light, but you need that shot. Film photography makes you learn or maybe not all of them, but a lot of the basic readings, with like, for example, the basic rule of Sunny 16. If you kind of have a general rule of how to read light, and with film photography, especially the more you do it, you will have that general rule in the back of your head. When you go out in a sunny day, you kind of know, the more you shoot, you will know like the general shutter speed, the general aperture you need to use. So I think it really does teach you how to read light better, especially coming from digital photography where you don't really have to know all that stuff. So the last thing I learned is kind of more about myself in a way, because I learned that I really enjoy the manual process of everything. For example, even something as like loading the film. I know that sounds weird, but I really enjoy that process. And even like turning the knob to wind the film, the shutter noise that it makes. And I think it's because we're so used to everything being automated these days that it's kind of nice to just slow down, do it yourself. And I think that's another reason why film photography in the recent years has seen a popular increase in its use, because people want to kind of go away from the digital, not necessarily go away completely, but try something new, because everything has become digitized. And I think that's why a lot of people gravitated towards film, because it's a manual process. Even when it comes down to learning stuff in the darkroom, you get to learn about film, how it reacts to light and different liquids to form your photo, which I have not yet done darkroom printing, but it's definitely something I would like to learn in the future, so maybe one day. But yeah, I think I just really enjoy the manual process, even when it comes down to like focusing. Not to say there aren't film cameras that have autofocus, but a lot of them, their focus is manual. Even my 35mm camera, the Minolta, something as cheap and as small as that, it has a manual focus. And again, it comes down to slowing your process and just doing things by hand. And I don't know, just the slow process of it, I really enjoy it all. So obviously today was just a discussion video, and I just kind of wanted to talk about some things I learned. And I'm not a film elitist. I don't think one is better than the other. Sometimes I enjoy shooting digital. I just want to go out there and not have to worry about anything else, just shoot away. But other times I am in the mood just to be more intentional, slow down, and kind of enjoy the photo that I get and not have to worry about edits. But again, these are just my opinions. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys like film? Do you guys think it'll die soon? Just leave me a comment, just stuff you learned. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else that you guys learned that maybe I not necessarily missed, but maybe that's kind of a new take on film. So let me know your thoughts, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It would really help me out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.